Hi, my name is Doug Johnson. I'm with Ballard & Company. I'm the tax manager here in Mountain Home, Arkansas. We're at the corner of 7th and South Street in downtown Mountain Home. I wanted to talk today first about the first-time homebuyers credit. This was a way for the economic stimulus and began back in 2008. Originally it had to be repaid. If you bought a home in 2009 or now even 2010, you can get the credit for 10% of the purchase price up to a maximum of $8,000. This is a refundable credit. In other words, if your credit exceeds the tax owed, then you will get a refund of this amount. There are certain dates you need to be aware of. Originally this was set to expire on November 30th of 2009. They have extended the homebuyers credit, first-time homebuyers credit, until April 30th of 2010, with the caveat, if you have a binding written contract prior to May 1st, then you have until June 30th of 2010 to actually close and purchase the home. You must not have owned a home in the U.S. as your principal residence for the previous 3 years prior to the purchase of this home. These are basically the same deal. Before, they did enhance the credit somewhat. They've increased the amount of income. And some important dates to remember are pre-November 6th purchases. Your income limits were $75,000 and phased out completely at $95,000. For married filing jointly, the phase out began at $150,000 and phased out at $170,000. For purchases after November the 6th, those amounts go to $125,000 with a complete phase out at $145,000 for single taxpayers and $225,000 to $245,000 for married taxpayers filing joint. And you can see that's a substantial increase, has opened it up to a lot more people. Again, the $8,000 is refundable. It's yours to do what you want with it. You have to keep as your principal residence and make it your principal residence for 36 months after closing on it. If you do not keep it for the 36 months, then it must be paid back. There are some extenuating circumstances. If you're forced by death or something like that, then it is not. You don't have to pay it back. You cannot purchase a home from a relative. Related party transactions are frowned upon. Also, under the new law, you may not purchase one for more than $800,000. If it's even $1 over that, then it's not a qualified purchase. An interesting deal is if you're divorced and you were never on the deed with your ex-spouse, you are not considered to have owned a home, and therefore it is possible that you could qualify for the first-time homebuyer credit. The initial credit in 2008, if you had purchased a home, it required you to pay it back over a period of 15 years. And if you sold that home, then all of it became due and payable. That is no longer the case. As long as you meet the 36-month occupancy, then after that 36 months, you're free and clear. If you sell or whatever, you do not have to repay this credit. Now, they can also qualify for a lesser credit, and that credit is 10% of the purchase price up to a maximum of $6,500. It has to be purchased after November 6th of 2009 and before May 1st of 2010. And again, the caveat, if you have a binding written contract before May 1st, then as long as you close by June 30th of 2010, you will still qualify. The deal is refundable. The entire credit is, if you don't owe any other taxes again, it's yours to do with as you wish. It does not have to be repaid, and it must, excuse me, you must be there for the 36 months, just like the other first-time homebuyer credit. The income limitations are the same, 125 to 145 for single, and 225 to 245 for joint filers. You, again, cannot purchase from a related party. And also, if you're divorced and you were on the deed and you go out and buy another one after November 6th, you will qualify for this lesser, what we call the successor homebuyer credit. One of the things you will have to furnish in order to get this is a signed closing statement. Plus, you'll have to have proof that you actually had a permanent residence in which you lived in for 5 consecutive years in the previous 8 years prior to purchasing this. The biggest thing about it is that the new home must become your principal residence. You must abandon the old home. You can turn it into a rental unit, you can keep it as a vacation place, whatever you want to, but the big deal is that you don't have to sell it. You can hold on to it until the market turns or whatever, but you do have to make the replacement home your principal residence. So that means changing your address, registering your vehicles, registering the boat and everything with this new home, and holding it out as your principal place of residence. If you have any questions on this, I would appreciate your calls. Call me, Doug Johnson, at Ballard Company. The number is 870-425-6256. Our website is www.ballardcpa.com.